Alright, so that should just stay there and I should just be able to talk to you. So alright. Man, it's another day of the project and another time headed to Menards. I feel like that's all I ever do is just head to Menards for real. But essentially today I'm getting insulation blown into the top of the crib. So like you would call it the attic, but it's really the second floor. The the building has a pitch on the roof. You know, it has a pitch on the roof, so it's perfect for a single family home. Now that I think about it investment wise, and this is just me pontificating a little bit, I wish I would have lifted the rafters. Like the rafters are what create the V on the actual ceiling or the roof. Mine are pitched steep, right? Which reduces living space within the home. But I make up for it by having an addition in the back. So I feel like I kind of reclaim some of that. But I would have preferred to bow out the rafters, to lift the rafters. But now, I mean, it's just like, it is what it is now. Because once insulation goes in, I can't dwell on that decision. It's next thing, right? So I will blow in insulation into the whole ceiling. And then after that, I'll have the ability to drywall it. Now, the only problem with the drywall is I have to wait for the house to be at a certain temperature to be able to drywall, because this drywall is cold. Oftentimes it's coming out of different cold facilities. It might have even been exposed to moisture, exposed to the elements, and then you bring it into a house, right? And then you go to install it and it's just cold drywall, right? And then it starts to crack. And if you try to put your joint lines and you fill them with mud, then all your joint lines are going to crack. So the next thing I actually need to figure out is how to get a gas line into the house so that I can turn the furnace on. The furnace is already installed. So essentially what people's gas will do is, if the property is vacant for more than 3 to 5 years, then people's gas is going to come in and basically take out that gas line. So you're no longer going to be tapped in from that main artery valve. So I don't think people really think about this, but there's a whole network of things that go on underneath the city. So the case that I was reading about, people were digging underneath a synagogue and stuff like that. Digging into the infrastructure is a no-no. It's connected to the gas line. It's connected to all our water lines. It's connected to all of our sewer lines, right? Like that's like infrastructure is so important for making the city run, and I think it's something that people don't think about at all, but it's all buried underneath us. And there's a vertical line that goes across, there's a vertical line that goes across the throughway, right? It goes underneath Karlov Avenue. So you can think about it as almost the gas lines follow the main street lines, right? Because all of those arteries have to come off to supply the houses, right? So you're basically, whenever you're seeing like a main paved road, underneath the paved road is also all of your city's infrastructure, right? Water, sewage and gas. So what I need is for them to run a new service line from that main artery that's on Karlov Avenue to 905. And then once I have that, my plumber will be able to plug in the gas meter to it, and then I can get gas supplied to my furnace so I can heat up the house so that I can put the drywall in and get me to the next stage of this project. So drywall is what I'm just driving at, because once the drywall gets there, the ball game becomes different. It's just a different ball game when you see drywall up in the crib. So that's what the next step is. That's what I'm driving towards. But today we're just gonna figure out the insulation.